Hey cycling fans, time for another week of This Week in American Cycling. We're taking you to Washington, D.C. for the Armed Forces Cycling Classic stop of the Pro Road Tour. We're also headed to Oregon for the Cascade Cycling Classic up there. We've got really great coverage from Montpellier, France for the UCI BMX Freestyle World Cup. Some cool stuff there. We're going to talk about T-Town for some track racing there. We've got an update from our juniors in Europe. And, of course, we're going to talk about Dirty Kanza on This Week in American Cycling. First up, let's start with the Pro Road Tour at the Armed Forces Cycling Classic. Historic wins there for Kendall Ryan and Eric Young as they both double up on both days and become the first female and male to do so.
Yeah, unique week, and Saturday came down to a field sprint, and Kendall Ryan doing what she does best, taking yet another win there in Crystal City. She showed a clean rear wheel to the peloton and never looked back. A little bit different story in the men's race, however, as Eric Young and Ulysses Castillo, two of the weapons on that Elevate KHS team, end up in the mix with Hugo Scala Jr. from the Gateway team. However, they dispatch him with about 2 to go, and they end up taking the win with Young, Castillo second, Elevate KHS on a roll.
Same story on Sunday, a field sprint for the women where Kendall Ryan backs up her win on Saturday despite the best efforts of Huggins, Berman, and Superman to try to split the field. She celebrates with a #1 salute as she becomes the first to double up, but hours later, Eric Young did the same thing.
Yeah, 5 guys, not the burger joint from DC, but the breakaway actually in this 100K, 100-lap thriller that has become one of the staples of the American season, and now no longer a junior, Sean McElroy with the Legion team. He's in the mix alongside some of the Elevate riders as they take that down to the closing laps, but again, Legion burns through all of their guys. Justin Williams and company end up watching Elevate do what they do best as they take 4 of the top 5 spots on the second day of racing there.
So Elevate again widens their lead. First Internet Bank doesn't show up to DC, so heading into the second half of the season, Elevate in a really good place with James Piccoli.
Yeah, James has a 30-point lead over Stephen Bassett and Alex Hone right now, and I would expect him to make the Tour of Utah squad riding for Elevate there, where he should add more points to his tally as the PRT really picks back up at the Tour of Utah.
Tighter battle on the women's side between Show Air and Rally. Looking forward to watching them duke it out over the next few weeks, including at the upcoming all-women's Colorado Classic.
Yeah, Chloe Dygert-Owen on the leaderboard. She's been having a great comeback season. It's nice to see. Crystal Doble-Hickok as well. Her climbing has been fantastic this year. As we head into the second part of the season, those are 2 more riders that we'll keep our eyes on.
We also had some great road racing up at the Cascade Classic in Oregon. This is another classic stage race for the road racers.
Yeah, one of the oldest races in America, 39th edition, not there last year, back this year. The courses are all new. Some of the finishes might be familiar, but we sure got to them a different way. The story really was the Show Air 2020 team on the women's side. They were winning with different riders on different days, but Emma Grant ends up dominating. Her climbing is at a next level. So Emma Grant for the women, and then what we really learned is Travis McCabe is a World Tour level rider racing here in the United States. He's that good. He wins 2 stages. Just such an impressive job by the Floyd's team there. And again, congratulations to Barboen and the race organization. It was great having Cascade back on the calendar, Brad. That's a benchmark race for us in America, and it was a thrilling edition.
One last thing from the road, we also want to recognize Tour of Somerville. We missed them last week, America's longest running bicycle race at 52 years old this year, so congratulations to Tour of Somerville. This was super cool. UCI Freestyle BMX World Cup from Montpellier, France, as they get ready for their Olympic debut at the Tokyo 2020 Games. And the way things went this week, there's a good chance that we could see some Americans bringing home gold medals.
There's a lot of great energy there. There really was. American Justin Towle was a surprise winner. He was 10th in qualifying and then leapfrogged his way up to the win. That was outstanding. And then take a look at this. Australian Jake Walwork here. His bike ends up in the drink, and it really shows you they're pushing the envelope out there, no doubt about it. Great event.
American women go 1 and 2 with Hannah Roberts and Paris Benegas. Those are the 2 big names in freestyle BMX right now, so looking forward to having them representing the United States at the Tokyo 2020 Games. Big story at Dirty Kanza this year, aside from who is and isn't using aero bars, was the arrival of the World Tour pros. Guys like Taylor Phinney, Keel Reinen, Pete Stetina all getting out there for the 200-miler. But it came down to the privateer, Colin Strickland, who outdoes them all. He attacked at 100 miles to go, and Strickland held off the World Tour pros.
It was old school racing at its very best there. Amity Rockwell shows you that never say die spirit that's critical if you want to be successful at an event like Dirty Kanza, as she overcomes a horrible start outside the top 10 and then rides her way onto the top step of the podium as Ali Tetrick, a valiant effort in second. But that's what it's all about. It's not just the pros racing there, but when you look at the depth of these fields and everybody enjoying themselves, this is a landmark event on the American calendar. Great job to everybody at Dirty Kanza.
Track season started this week as well at the T-Town Velodrome over in Trexlertown, Pennsylvania. They've got a big block of UCI racing coming up there. The only opportunity for riders to pick up UCI points ahead of the Worlds and Olympic selection. So a lot of riders going to be camped out in T-Town for the next few weeks.
Yeah, it's really cool to see track racing starting to grow. They do a great job there at T-Town, one of the, again, epic track racing venues in the United States, and it always has been. So it's great to see over the next 3 weeks. We're going to really start sorting out who's going to be on the American Olympic team.
Big win for Chad Haga at the Giro as he picks up a win on the last stage in the individual time trial. First time an American has won a Grand Tour time trial since Taylor Phinney did it at the Giro back in 2012.
You want to go to the Olympics, do something like that. Great job, Chad. And how about the junior men, the U.S. team over in Europe, and Matthew Riccatello rides his way to a 7th overall in the GC at the Tour du Pays du Vaud. His teammate, Quinn Simmons, wins the time trial, also takes the green jersey. So now the U.S. men have moved up to 6th in the Nations Cup ranking. That's as prestigious as it gets. So good job by the American men, and we'll welcome them all back to the United States for our national championships. Looking forward to Hagerstown, Maryland hosting one more time, Brad.
Well, that's it for this week in This Week in American Cycling. For Dave Towle, I'm Brad Sohner saying thanks for watching another episode. We'll see you next week.